Okay.
You got me in there? Okay, so basically this was a brief whiteboard. I better talk to the audience. A brief whiteboard trying to explain the thought process I was having, trying to put together an extension of the pattern structure that we put together for object compounding related to a website specifically that I was trying to make for an international consortium of bed and breakfast owners. But it also applied to any website structure or strategy that I decided to be working on. The key words that come at the top here, and they were not the first things I wrote down, were total. Then I thought, well, I want a local site, but it developed into global, only because it ends AL. I preferred if it ended ALL, but we'll take those off because total, local, global was the concept of a website. There's only three things it can do. The thing I'm interested in, for many reasons, is what I've called, and this is an invented word, it doesn't actually come up on Wikipedia, pattern sequencing. Pattern sequencing. What I do when I'm trying to put something together, this is going to over 90 seconds, is to look up on Wikipedia what the true meaning is. Pattern sequencing is what I believe is the way that people remember things. They see all words are written down, seen in a repeated image in the head. If you're trying to remember the name of somebody that founded an art gallery, you see a picture of the art gallery. And Getty has now come into my head because I see him as a picture of an old country house with a telephone box in England. Pattern sequencing, and sequencing purely because you have to have some linear progression on what you're trying to do. What we were looking for on the website was to put things together, and I put words down which are key to what could be extended in further discussion, which could open up a whole lot of whiteboards, what I call a site bundle. In many ways, sites have been doing this, and the word meta has come into the use of internet for the last 20 years, meta tags, but meta sites, and meta search is really more important. But site bundling is a better way of describing what people call meta. So site bundles, to my mind, are critical. If we're doing a site about, like we have southern France not far, we put it together as a meta site. We want to discuss property in southern France, so we will bring in feeds from, hopefully, all the people related to supplying property that offer a good service. And we have to do it free. You cannot charge people for this shit. That feeds lead into this key thing here, which is what I was trying to refer to the term, is compound technology. Because this is the word that Kevin created, and it comes into compounding, and ever since then I've been preoccupied with learning more Japanese and Chinese because they are compound characters, meaning something completely different to the the units of that compound. The Chinese house or man or yes is completely different to the implication it has when it's put into heaven. The house in heaven would be an easier way of understanding how Chinese works, but it doesn't look like house or heaven. So compound technology is something we'll almost double last. And I was interested in these little words, came here out of it already, because the word chop is a Japanese way, a Chinese way of somebody being identified as an image. If you're given your chop, this is your cartouche, your stamp. And that's an object compound in compound technology. It threw me into wallet IDs and security things as well, which is all bits of word on the thing. So combined compound objects bring me back to the word meta, which is now deleted. So I rather like the idea of compound object, doing this way. And it's all graphic, it's all images. I forgot what NFC stands for. It was obviously important at one time. Google it, because that was a Google thing, it was in capitals. And the way of doing this and expressing on the internet are video, first and foremost video. Video is critical, audio, I don't think so.
Near field communication. The set of standards for smartphones.
That's it, NFC, near field communication.
To establish radio communication.
Well done, see, so capital letters count. Video, audio, text, and then QR codes, this is the sort of shit that comes later, but video comes first. Video doesn't have to be motion. I don't say movies when I say video. Okay, so now the other things here. I'm really finished, there's not much to actually do. I'll leave that up last, I think. I like the word airweb. object groups into compound technology. Then I started fantasizing tone compoundings, and I gave us, if you remember, our tone poem, Elucidate. So tone compoundings is not done. This is new technology we can play with and invent. I rather like trusted patterns. I'm not playing with words. You could actually get more security in a trusted pattern. Remember I had security over there. Trusted pattern technology could be a way of redefining where people are getting security.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about when you're on the internet.
It's visual.
Yeah.
Ta-da. Now we get into pattern compounding. Haha, compound technology, pattern compounding. Going in, I'll come to this for the very last graph. What do I have here? Oh yeah, okay, patternage, forget that. We're getting into something quite crude there in mathematics, which I don't want to get into. I don't mean crude in a rude sense, I mean crude in the way of rough that doesn't need to be done. So when we come into object groups and compound technology, which can now come off, because we're coming into what is going to be important on any website, pattern compounding through graph recognition, pattern matching, pattern merging, compounding, these are nice words. I couldn't help it but get into John Betjeman here. Come kindly pattern. Come kindly bomb, come fall on the slough. I was really getting carried away there because I'm just thinking the last thing I want is to get too deep into one particular thing. Destroy this board, it's going very quickly. Maths here, width of edge, look it up. Fuzzy with an F, edge, fuzzy mathematics, fuzzy technology, fuzzy logic. You know that fuzzy logic. Everyone should know that fuzzy logic. If you don't, read it. Fuzzy logic is what it's all about. We cannot have linear structures in anything we're doing on the internet. Width of an edge is good. Semi-permeable edge of osmosis. How about this for getting into mathematical structures? A website should be utilizing semi-permeable edge osmosis to actually feed the information you want in. This is search technology perfectly done, because eventually this comes into discovery technology. The width of an edge is important, because I've deleted the last word here, which is graph, not yet. Pattern matching, pattern merging, semi-permeable edge technology, pattern compounding, and look what I'm left with when I took all this shit off the board. And I'll take the word recognition, and everything led to that. Now, how interesting, the word that all my arrows led to when I was doing my own little mental thing, not for display, was graph. And that's the word that we're now talking about. Please look up what graph maths is on Wikipedia. I believe when they started talking about graph, it was not the middle of the word demographics. It was to do with maths technology. And all graph edge maths comes into is what I've been discussing here. End of presentation, and I apologise for being longer than 90 seconds.